All right, take two. Hi Leo, and welcome back to the channel if you're already familiar with this space. But if you're new, welcome in. We are here to embrace you with nothing but love and acceptance. So feel free to come in as you are, wherever you are energetically, be it positive, negative, or neutral. And I just pray that you leave better than you came. You guys, so funny. It's hilarious. Like, I'm having to do a double take on just about everything that I'm saying. But I was doing the intro and then my camera shut off and I was like, oh, holy shit, like, did something happen with the battery? Because I had charged it. And then I realized that no, I just simply didn't press play. So there we have that. All right. What you guys have as the overlying energy is the Knight of Pentacles. And the cruise that hounds you is the Four of Cups. So I feel like somebody's trying to get into your ear and convince you to make a decision outside of what you already naturally want to do. So this can be like family members or friends. Say, for instance, if you're in a relationship or you're apart from somebody that you may have that desire to have a romantic connection with, and you're around your family and friends that may not even know this person. Maybe they know of, like, through the grapevine, because this is like gossipy energy. But they tell you, like, no, you don't really want to reconnect with that person, or no, they're not the right ones for you. I wouldn't take them too seriously. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. Just trying to, again, just get in your ear. Some of you guys, you're listening and you are acting on what they're saying. And so you're not going to be reaching out, say if you're apart from somebody. If you're in a relationship and you like this person a lot and they're just getting into your ear, you may not go any further with that person because you care about what people think. So I feel like for some of you Leos, the problem has been that you care too much about what other people think, what people in your family think here, or people that you consider family, because you guys tend to be surrounded by your friends, right? You always have a clique or some sort of posse, and so the people that you want to bring into that circle, they have to meet the standards of your friends, right? And I feel like that has brought blockages in matters of the heart. Where you need more information, if I didn't already show you guys, you have the Four of Swords, and then the outcome card, you guys have the Knight of Wands. But yeah, the Fool being in the what's wrong position is you acting in a very naive or immature way, or being completely oblivious to the signs and synchronicities and the guidance that you have been receiving from trusted sources, right? And trying to do things of your own free will. You can be acting very recklessly because you do have the Knight of Wands here. So some of you guys can be sowing your seeds, for the gentleman that's watching, and just having these just random hookups with people because you feel like that is going to just stroke your ego and make you feel good. And though it does in the moment, it is fleeting. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you're stuck with an additional body, additional attachments and energy that you now have to work through because that energy rubs off on you in other ways, just depending on who you have enmeshed with, and it still leaves you empty at the end of the day, right? You're truly unsatisfied. Though it was gratifying in the moment, right? And you were able to reach your climax, and this can be for guys or girls, whoever's watching this video. There is no true connection or intimacy. I feel like for some of you guys, you're waiting to hear back from someone, but I feel like you're trying to put a time limit on it. You know, like, okay, I'm giving this person a certain amount of time to respond back, and if they don't, then I'm going to take it upon myself to reach out, you know. And the Knight of Wands can be quick, fast energy, so it can be invasive, you know what I'm saying? So not a person that overstays their welcome, but somebody that definitely comes in unannounced. Right? So if you have this person's address, you could be popping up over there unannounced. which can be extremely invasive, especially if this person has asked for space, or if you know that that is a requirement needed for there to be any sort of powwow. I don't know how else I'm trying to say it, but in order for you to get whatever closure or whatever conversation that you need, understanding that that space is required. So if you come in before it's time, you can very well mess up and do more damage, right? With this Wands energy, do more damage than what has already been done here. Some of you guys are failing to think about the ways that your upbringing affects you and the way that you relate to others in your external environment. Some of you guys don't want to admit to the ways that potentially, with this King of Swords being at the bottom of the deck and the King of Cups is behind that card, and the ways that your paternal figure or just a parental figure, your whoever was your legal guardian growing up, and the ways that they were emotionally absent or withdrawn, there we go, and how that has become a part of your persona, or in ways that you also identify, and the ways that you also express. This can also be just growing up in a dysfunctional home and having to lean on your friends, right? Your friends became your family because you didn't actually have a family. Whenever the holidays come around, it's like they're, I don't know, you just didn't spend time with them. You know what I mean? So as you guys grew up and just went on to do your own thing, you know, you guys have grown to be more distant and have gone your separate ways. And so you don't have a real concept of family or what that's supposed to look like or what that's supposed to feel like. You know what I'm saying? There are certain models that you were supposed to have growing up that you were deprived of. And so you feel like you have to overcompensate in other ways in your relationships. Somebody's car alarm is going off, so I'm going to take that as an omen as far as like I'm hitting on something. And I do apologize, my channel can be pretty triggering because I do like to go into the subconscious, and I do like to go into the ways that we self-harm and just identity issues altogether. So if you know you're not at a place where you're comfortable enough to speak about that in the comment section or in reaching out to me, then it would be best for you to click off now, because I'm not trying to put you back or set you back psychologically from any progress that you may be making. I don't like to do readings that are just focused on love and like, oh, what is this person doing, or oh, what is this person thinking, or oh, does this person miss me, when there are deeper issues that need to be resolved, because that's essentially affecting the relationship from being healthy, you know, or from you being able to really figure out who you are, right, and your own personal identity, and feeling fulfilled and finding happiness in other ways if you don't naturally care about a relationship. So just keep that in mind. Be mindful about that. Mindfulness is coming up though altogether, but yeah, definitely you're looking at that in the ways that you have to overcompensate, or you're looking at the dynamics of certain relationships that you have, because you do have the 2 4s. Actually, you have 3 4s. So you might be seeing that sign a lot, 444, which means that hard work is required, right? Everything that you should ever desire in life with this Wands energy comes at a cost, okay? And so it comes through you actually putting in that work, right? That spiritual work in order to ascend to higher levels, in order to be able to tap into the stream of consciousness that we all essentially have access to, right? But say, for instance, you are inspired by the work that I do and you want to channel, but you find that you are blocked in being able to do work like this, even if it's not through divination, just in the ways that you are a spiritual mentor or that you give advice. You aren't able to really give the best suggestions for other people because there's a blockage there, but you're not doing the spiritual work, right? Constantly having to be in states of meditation, which means that you can't be surrounded by your friends and your family all the time, right? And they may take that the wrong way. It may rub them off the wrong way, because then you're giving your attention to something else. And they can't serve as that distraction, right? They can't siphon your energy anymore. And so you're having to learn that there's a certain period of isolation that you have to go through, and being comfortable enough with being by yourself, right? And sitting in silence. And so if that's not comfortable for you, you're going to have to try to find other ways to incrementally implement that into your schedule and into your lifestyle, right? Your daily life with this Knight of Pentacles that's here. So be it like, say for instance, you take a shower every day and you always play music while you're showering. Well, it's going to be you testing yourself in, right, your ability to connect spiritually, because water is one way to actually do it, by not listening to music while you shower, right? That's the one place and the one time where you're dedicating yourself to just really cleansing your mind, your body, and your spirit, and tuning in, right? And just allowing yourself, kind of how people do with automatic writing, and they just write their thoughts and they don't try to control the trajectory of where it goes or how it's written, right? You know what I'm saying? And the entire composure, it's not about the perfection, but just getting the thoughts out. Same thing with showering, where you're allowing your thoughts to kind of run through and flow through you, and you see them as they are, and that's a way for you to be able to tap in, okay? The Force is all about hard work, just continually putting in hard work to see the desired outcome or results that you're looking for with this Knight of Pentacles energy. So if this is about relationships and you find that you've been unsuccessful in most, if not all of them, then you're looking again at the ways that your friends have potentially influenced you, but also in the ways that you have dedicated yourself to the relationship, in the ways that you've been consistent or otherwise, right? In the ways that you've been reckless, in the ways that you've been oblivious, right? And or naive, and not watching where you're going or watching what you're doing, or the way that your strong personality, which can come through, can come off on other people in ways that you can potentially be offensive, right? Or again, in other ways where you can be emotionally withdrawn or reclusive or private or secretive, right? Or too stiff and stern and stubborn, and not being what is that called, malleable in relationships. You don't feel like anybody can teach you anything. It's always your way or the highway, where you're again feeding into wanting to be the center of attention, and that stroking your energy or stroking your ego, and yeah, that feels good, right? That gives you energy for a moment, but again, it's temporary. And so you're finding things that can give you more permanency, or ways that you can add more value and permanency into the things that already exist in your life. This is you having to show up in other different ways than ever before. But if you aren't familiar with Grant Cardone, he's coming through because I saw 10X in my mind's eye. And so you might want to read that book, especially if you are trying to do things on a professional front, right? From a professional level. You're needing to read that, because it comes down to, are you simply just interested in the things that you're involved with, or are you truly committed, right? Can you challenge yourself? Can you also be challenged without that being such a blow to your ego and causing you to regress in other ways? Can you take constructive criticism so as much as you give it? Here, can you also give people attention and tend to people and care for other people in the ways that they need, apart from the ways that you desire to do it? Here, because the Knight of Wands just cares about himself and what pleases him, right? But when it comes down to love languages, you need to love people in the way that they need to be loved, if you're capable of doing it. And if not, just say, you know what, I don't fit the requirements for what you need. You know, I don't fit the description of the love interest that you feel that you need to have before you. And so I'm going to release myself from this situation, and also feel comfortable enough with walking away from these friends and family members. Once you know that you've done all that you can, and if it's still not good enough to them, there's always like a but, you know, there's always sarcasm that follows, or, you know, people's lips are still hanging and poking out despite all of what you have done. And maybe the more subtle ways also that you show up in love or in your loving relationships for the people that you care about. Again, your friends and family. If it's not good enough for them, then you know what? It still has to be good enough for you, that you gave your best. This is also just doing the very best that you can with the resources that you have. Or again, doing the very best to put love into these relationships, or this relationship, that you want, right? That you have.